Hello everybody, so I'm in a filming mood today. This is like the second video I recorded. I'm doing the my first time tag. It's been going around on YouTube I think all summer. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I decided what the hell, I'm just gonna do it because I really wanted to film something fun today. So I have the questions here on my laptop and I will put them right down in the down bar, maybe right down here. When I first read the title of the first question is, do you still talk to your first love? Yes and no. Like, we went a really long time of not talking after we broke up, and then we talked a little bit here like a few weeks ago. It was very weird, but really nice to hear from him again. I don't know. Other than that, no, we really don't talk. If we run into each other, we exchange the hi, how are you doing, that kind of thing. What was your first job? My first ever job, I mean, I'm not including babysitting in this. I did start babysitting when I was like 9. Technically, that could be my first job, but like my first ever real job was as a hostess at Applebee's. I worked there when I was 15. I hated it. I only worked there over the summer and then I quit. It was really rough, and I don't even know. I am never working food service again. I hated it so much. The customers were rude. My boss was an absolute nightmare, and the people I worked with I just could not stand. So that's the story of my first job. What was my first car? I actually just bought my first car in December this past year. It is a 1995 Buick LeSabre limited edition. I love it to pieces, even though it is a piece of crap. I'm having to put in so much work into this car. It doesn't have an air conditioner. I found out to replace the air conditioner it would be like $500. I'm not going to bother doing that. I have to get new brakes and new shocks. The little fuel gauge sensor that tells me how much gas I have in it doesn't work. I just had to replace tires. The window motors on both the passenger and driver side have been having to be replaced. The car needs a lot of work, and I'm actually probably going to sell it once I get it paid off. I'm almost got it paid off too. For having only had the car loan for a year now, it's a 2-year loan. I only have a few months left to pay on it because I'm always like putting extra money towards the car loan, so it'll be paid off shortly, and I'm probably just going to sell it and buy a new car. Not like a new car, but like a new to me car. At least something above a year 2000, who knows. Who was the first person to text me this morning? It was actually my friend Mary. She texted me last night actually, but I hadn't gotten it until I woke up this morning, so technically my friend Mary texted me this morning, and hello Mary, if you're not watching, you're probably not. Who was the first person I thought of this morning? I'm not going to tell you that. It's kind of embarrassing, and I don't want him to know about it, so. Who was my first grade teacher? Oh my god, I can't even remember. Oh my god. I don't remember my first grade teacher. What was her name? I feel like it started with an H. I don't know. Oh, that was a long time ago. I don't even know. Where did I go on my first ride on an airplane? So the first time I rode on an airplane, I just graduated high school. I was 18. I went out for like a week or two during that summer to go visit my aunt. She lives out in New York. She lives in a little suburb called Yonkers. The first time I went on the airplane, I was so absolutely terrified. I had a panic attack. I was absolutely terrified to get on that plane, but I'm so glad I did, and now I prefer flying over driving any day. If I have to go anywhere that's longer than a 6-hour car ride, I will try to book a plane ticket. Like if I have to go down to Tennessee to visit family, I would rather fly, and that's a 16-hour car ride. I would rather fly than drive. I can't be in the car that long. Airplanes are for me. Who was my first best friend, and do I still talk to her? I remember my first best friend. We met in preschool at dance classes because We'd both been in the same dance class. We took tap, ballet, and jazz. We were actually the only two in jazz class, so we got really close. Her name was Alice. We went to kindergarten together. We were like joined at the hip. We were best friends. And then I moved away for a while and we didn't see each other. And then in high school, we went to the same high school and we started like, we hung out with the same group of people, but we weren't like best friends. And I actually ran into her over the summer and it was really awkward. Like, we didn't have much to say to each other. So no, we don't talk anymore. We're still Facebook friends, but we don't talk. Next question was, where was your first sleepover? It was at Alice's house, and I remember calling home wanting to go home. I just didn't want to stay there. My parents would not come pick me up, so I had to stay overnight. But yeah, that was my first sleepover. And I think the only reason I wanted to go home was because I was with like a group of people. Like, Alice was having like a birthday party sleepover, and for some reason they decided to tell scary stories and I got scared and wanted to go home. So who was the first person I talked to today? I talked to my dad. I went and woke him up. Whose wedding was I in for the first time? I was the flower girl at my Uncle Randy's wedding. I was 6 or 7. I had a really pretty like burgundy dress with a white lace top. It was so pretty. That was the first and only wedding I've ever been in. What was the first thing I did this morning? I woke up and I checked my cell phone because it was going off. Somebody called me. I don't remember what. Somebody called me this morning. I don't remember who because I was still asleep. It was like 8 in the morning. I was still asleep. Somebody called me and I don't remember who it was, but that was the first thing I did this morning, was talk on the phone, like sleepily. I wasn't fully awake when I had this conversation, so I don't know what was said. What was the first concert I went to? I went to like, oh, I have a text message. Oh, sorry. I remember I went to a concert with my mother when I was really little. I don't remember who it was. It was a country singer. It was the 90s. I was like 3. But I remember the first concert I actually went to, like as a teenager. I went to see Puddle of Mud at Summer's Last Blast here in Dubuque. I was like in high school. It was the worst concert I had ever been to. Actually, it was the only concert I ever went to, I think. Like a big name concert. Because they were drunk and high and they forgot the lyrics to their own songs. It was awful. Worst first concert experience ever. I've gone to a lot of like local band concerts that were all really fantastic. Like this past weekend I went to see this weekend I went to see Half Fast and they were amazing. First broken bone, I've actually never broken a bone. I've sprained both my ankles multiple times. I got a stress fracture in my lower back, but I have never broken a bone. Cross my fingers that'll never happen. I don't do enough to like ever try to break a bone. I'm not like super adventurous to the point where I would possibly break one. I don't know. My first piercing, I got my ears pierced when I was only a few years old. I think I was 3 when my parents got my ears pierced. And then when I was 13, I got the cartilage of my right ear pierced, you know, like right up here. And that was like my 13th birthday present from my dad. And I got cauliflower ear or something. I got like really infected, so I had to take it out and the piercing closed up. It was awful. I'm never getting a piercing again. I don't think. I really want to get another piercing though in my ear. I don't know. First foreign country. Okay. Wow, I am popular today. The first foreign country I've ever been to, I've never been outside of the USA. Not even to Canada. I really want to go. Like, I want to go visit like England, Italy, and Ireland, and I want to go up to Canada and visit Canada. I just haven't made it quite that far. Maybe when I've graduated college, I'll take a trip. Who knows? But so far, I've just been in the US. First movie I ever remember seeing. I know my grandmother said she used to take me out to movies when I was a little kid, but I don't remember any of them. The first one I ever remember going to see in theaters, though, was the Tigger movie. Now, this was like, I was like 8 years old, and my grandmother took me out to see that, and my little sister had broken her arm that day. So my parents had taken her to the hospital, and my grandmother decided to take me and my brother to see the Tigger movie. So that's the first movie I ever remember seeing. When was my first detention? My first detention was in 7th grade. I had been late to school. No, I had like 3 tardies to English class because my homeroom was at one end of the school and my English class was all the way on the other side of the school on the 3rd floor, and my homeroom was in the basement, so I did not have 4 minutes was not enough time for me to get from point A to point B. So I think I was tardy like 3 times in a week, and I got my first detention. It was super embarrassing. My parents were so mad, and I think I had maybe 3 more detentions after that because of being tardy to English class. And my teacher was just like an evil person who just did not understand. Funny story, it turns out my English teacher went to high school with my parents, so that probably did not help my matters because she probably just could not stand my father or my mother, one of the two. Who was my first roommate? I'm guessing this does not include my sister because me and her shared a room until I was 18 and she was 13. So my first roommate in college was, we shared a room for like a month and we just fought constantly. She was crazy. She spread rumors about me to the entire dorm. She was always just like trying to pick fights with me. I didn't feel safe to be in the room. So eventually I moved into my own room and she actually ended up dropping out of college. So it all kind of worked out. For the first lessons I ever took, I started taking dance lessons when I was in preschool. No, I was age 4 actually. Yeah. I was 4, I signed up for dance lessons, I took tap, ballet, and jazz, and I did that until I was 8, and then for whatever reason, I don't know why I stopped, because I enjoyed it so much. I think my mother just didn't want to pay for it anymore. Actually, she never paid for it, but anyway, I just never got signed back up. I really enjoyed it though. I took cello lessons when I was in elementary, that didn't last very long. And the last question is, who was your first ever beauty related person you ever watched on YouTube? Oh, this is a fun one. I think it was, you know what, I even remember the very first video I ever watched. I remember it so well. I remember the very first video I ever watched ever. That kind of got me like introduced to the beauty community on YouTube. It was Elle Fowler, or All That Glitters 21. It was her pirate makeup tutorial, and I think I was just like surfing around on YouTube one day and I saw like in the like popular now section a pirate tutorial, and I'm like, oh, you know, what is this? So I clicked on it, and there, you know, I started watching, and then I started like watching all of her videos, and then I started discovering other beauty gurus, and I just kind of got sucked in. And I think this would be a really fabulous like video to do on your own. Let me know if you'd like to see that, just kind of how I got started with the beauty community. So yeah, that's the very first person I ever watched on YouTube, and then I just kind of, I started watching more and more, and then I got started with my own channel. So it's actually a really nice story. Let me know if you want to hear it sometime. I would love to do a video on it. So yeah, I think that is all of the questions for this tag. That's going to be it for this video. Leave some requests down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.